Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're making fish and chips with a Sriracha batter. Let's get started. We're going to start by peeling our potatoes. I got two of the chunkiest russets that I could find at the store. I would prefer slightly chunkier, but what can you do? Once everybody's good and naked, I'm going to go ahead and salt the water that I've been bringing to a boil this whole time. We'll say 3 tablespoons. That should be enough. You want enough salt to season the potatoes, but you don't want to over salt, so you might have to dial it in a little bit. So now we want to make chips. I'm going to cut the nubbins off so they're nice and flat. You could also square off the potatoes. I'm not going to do that because why waste potato? But I do like square ends. I like to flip the potato up at this point because it shows me how big my chips are going to be. And because you're doing chips, you want them slightly thicker. The British style French fry is thicker than the traditional McDonald's French fry, but don't make them too thick. I know that's kind of vague. Probably more like this size than like this size. Also, you want to try to slice to keep them even, which I guess is why you want to square them off, now that I think about it. Regardless, it'll be okay. With the water boiling, we're going to throw our potatoes in. And we're going to let them go for 5 minutes. Okay, once they're par cooked, we're going to go ahead and scoop them out. Put them on some paper towels. After that, you want to get as much of the water off as you can without feeling like you're being compulsive. So I just used 2 baking sheets and 1 layer of paper towels and another layer of paper towels, and that's that. I'm going to stick these in the freezer for an hour. I've got 8 cups of peanut oil in my deep fryer, and I whoopsie-doodled on hitting record on the camera, so I'm going to have to remake my batter. I'm starting with 1.5 cup measure for measure flour. This is gluten-free. You use what you use, it'll be fine. 2 tablespoons kosher salt. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. That'll add air. Last time I made this, I used a gluten-free beer in the batter. Today I'm using club soda. The reason, you're not adding the beer for the flavor, you're adding the beer for the bubbles. This entire recipe is designed to put air into your batter to make it go foomp and be crunchy and have air pockets. We're also going to add a shot of vodka, which is going to evaporate and leave a little space wherever it is to add more crunchy pockets. Besides that, you're not going to miss the beer because we're adding 1/3 cup of Sriracha. Now, I stole this recipe from Mythical Chef Josh, and this morning I was like, yeah, it's going to be great because he used 1/2 cup of Sriracha in his video, and I made that, and that was way too much friggin' Sriracha. I'll use 1/3 cup. Then I looked at his notes below the video and found that he changed it to be 1/3 cup. So, my attempts to not steal are for naught, but that's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and whisk all this together. And once you're done, you're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. After sitting, it will be noticeably slightly thicker. After that, well, we got time on our hands. We got our cod fillets. We're going to give them a little dry, and then we're going to cut them down to the appropriate size. These are cod fillets. It is the Lent season, so they were on sale. Go me. Our chips are just out of the fridge. We're going to toss them in the batter. Shake off the excess. Then I'm just going to set them down. Might have to double dip to get my fingerprints off it. Remember, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Our oil has hit 350 degrees, so we can put our chips in. Now, here's the gig with the chips. If you're using gluten-free flour, you're going to want to be like our girl Taylor and shake it off, because this batter is thicker than it would be normally as beer batter with regular flour. So I guess the happy part of our accident is that by making 2 doses, I will have enough for the fish and the chips. And I probably wouldn't have had that otherwise. Chips should be done fairly quickly. I'm just going to throw them on this little tiny baking sheet because I've used all the baking sheets. Don't forget to salt as you go. Temperature check before you start dropping them back in. Everybody's pretty cold, so they might bring the temperature down considerably. And they did. Fry test. Good. They're very good. Little spice on the end. Now over here I'm doing pretty much a standard dredge and dip situation. You're putting the flour on it. This will help the batter to stick. And we're bringing our oil temperature up to 375. So toss the kids in the pool. Don't worry, they're fish. They can swim. Flip them, bop them, you know, usual Totally Honest Cooking Show stuff. Kind of wish I'd worn gloves for this. Once we hit 375, we can go ahead and put our fish in. And we'll see how much of the batter survives. And we're frying this for about 5 minutes or until it looks done. And I can tell you already it's looking pretty good. And while that's going, we can throw these other kids in the pool. Try not to eat all the chips while you're waiting on the fish. That's good. This one's getting kind of dark, so I'm going to pull it. This one I'm going to flip. I'm going to get the craggles out before they burn. Hit them with some salt. You know the deal. If you've got a bunch of batter left over, you could fry some pickles or something. I don't know. I'm probably just going to get rid of this, to be honest with you. I'm going to serve this. I'm serving this with a lemon. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my lemon to express the juice. Recipes like this give me a fuller appreciation of why restaurants use parsley. But look at it. It looks like fish and chips, and it's going to be marvelous. Okay, like, subscribe, ding the little bell, leave a comment down below. Let me know how I'm doing. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.